people on their deathbeds were questioned about their regrets. It was interesting with a nurse. She went around the world and she questioned a lot of people who are on their deathbeds. And she said, look, what are the things that you regret most in life? What are the areas that you have regrets around? And the same 5 answers came out of people all over the world. And these 5 answers, the first one is, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to me, not the life others expected of me. That was number 1. You relate to what I'm saying here? I wish I'd actually done what I really wanted to do. The second was, I wish I didn't work so hard. This was from where 100% of the men she interviewed said, I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I spent more time with my family and my kids. The third one was, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. You know what I'm talking about here? I wish I thought I'd said what was on my mind. Fourth one is, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. So important to have a group of friends that you go through life with and to cultivate those friends. It's so important. And the fifth one is the one that really gets me. I wish that I'd let myself be happier. Imagine getting to your deathbed and regretting not being yourself, not speaking your mind, not seeing enough of your family or your kids or your friends, and not even allowing yourself to be happy most of the time. How sad that must be. You know, so trying to impact on that is really important. When we look at our regrets, we want to look at what kind of life do we want to live? Who do we want to be? What kind of experiences do we want to have? Am I doing this for someone else? Classic example with me with alcohol. Why did I give up alcohol at age 18? Apart from the fact that I vomited on a bus and got thrown off the bus. I remember sitting and thinking there going, you know, I don't like drinking. I don't like the taste. I don't like the hangover. I don't enjoy any part of it, especially not this highly embarrassing thing, sitting on Queen Street in Auckland about to go to work covered in vomit, being thrown off a bus. Why do I drink? And you know why I realized that I drank? Do you know why? Because everyone drinks. That was why. I was doing it because everyone else was doing it. Not because I wanted to do it. So I gave it up then, right there at 18. It's like, wow, what a silly thing to be doing because everyone else does it. It's a good example of not living a life for other people, but doing the thing that's right for you. So I wish that I'd let myself be happier. This leads to Golden Rule 20, which is what I call find your happy paradigm. Now I'm going to go over what happy means in a minute and what it actually stands for, because I consider it, this is kind of like the mixture of what you need to do if you want to be happy. But the first thing here is, have you noticed how busyness is the new currency of cool? Have you noticed that? So I'm going out somewhere and I see my friend Sally. I'm walking down the street. Hey Sally, how you doing? Sally goes, oh yeah, I'm really, really busy. And I go, whoa, that's impressive. And then I walk a bit further and I see Stephen. Hey Stephen, how you doing? Oh man, I'm even more busy than Sally. I'm so busy, I'm just the busiest. And I go, wow, that's really impressive. I'm impressed now. Stephen, he's the man. And then I walk some more and I see Bert. I go, how Bert, who? He goes, oh man, I'm the busiest of all busyness. I'm so busy. I can't even talk about my busyness. I'm too busy being busy to even talk about being busy. So I'm going to go, see, I'm so busy. Right, so he's the busiest of all and I'm like super impressed with him. But you know what? Busyness is not impressive. It's bollocks. It's just bollocks. We've got caught up into this whole thing where we consider being busy as somehow we've made it. Have you noticed that? Yeah, it's just the stress-filled, kind of impress the Jones, I've got a bigger house than you, rubbish. Imagine if you went up to someone, imagine I go up to someone and say, hey Sally, how are you? And she goes, oh, you know what? I'm deeply content, happy and calm about everything in the world. Imagine how different that would be. And how you'd go, you wouldn't know what to say. You think, what's happened to Sally? You know. But you know, we judge. We're so busy being impressed with busyness, you know. Stress helps cause almost every disease. I could do 2 hours right now on stress alone. Stress is a huge killer of human beings. And a huge part of it is the lack of sleep and the food that we've been talking about tonight, not going to bed on time, being constipated. All of these things cause stress. But of course, we cause it with ourselves. You know, you can identify your stress. One of the key things if you want to be happy is to identify your stresses. Everyone has different stresses. For some people, it's cat hair. You know, for other people, it's traffic. For other people, it's the mother-in-law, you know, or the father-in-law, or the brother, or, you know, the person at work, or whatever it is, or the weird guy from Auckland up on stage who just keeps talking and on and on and on and on, and I'm so stressed, and, you know, whatever it is. The key thing here is to change the way you see it, remove it, or accept it. It's the only 3 things you can do about stress, is to either change the way you dance with it or do something around it. So what do I mean by the happy paradigm? What are these key things that we can also help to do that will lower our relationship with stress? First one is H stands for home. First thing you've got to have is a place to call your own. You must have a place where you can go, like your own cave, your own room, your own environment, where you can do what you want to do. It's the very first thing you need. H stands for home. A stands for attitude. So what do I mean by attitude? Well, the glass half full is a good example. I could offer this glass of water here to 4 different people and get 4 different reactions. So attitude is crucial. It gives you everything in life is attitude. Right. The P is philosophy. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you study the centenarian cultures, what you find is there's always some kind of guiding set of philosophies in the culture. So it could be, it's a Buddhist set of guiding philosophies, or a religious set, or a spiritual set, or just an agreement in society not to kill each other if they get upset. It can kind of vary, it can be anything, but a guiding set of principles seems to be something that creates and engenders happiness in human beings and lowers stress. So a set of agreements or philosophies is really important. The second P is proactivity. See this little girl here, best thing for her, hanging upside down. I mean, all she does, she gets up in the morning, she's 5, she goes, oh, Mum, please take me to the jungle gym so I can hang upside down. And when she gets there, she hangs upside down and everything's perfect. She just hangs upside down and swings around and everything's perfect. You notice that? Anyone here remember swinging upside down at school? Yeah, fantastic, right? Fantastic. This to her is proactively finding what you're passionate about and doing it. And when we talk about passionate, it's that moving of ions as well. So it's generally based around movement or change of some sort, is proactivity and passion. And then the Y in happy is that you matter and that you belong and you contribute. And these things are really important for a lot of us. We never get told ever that we contribute. Now the thing is, you contribute just by being alive. You contribute to your family community, to your friends, to your work community, and to your wider community. And for a lot of you, you'll be doing work in other areas where you'll be helping people out who are less fortunate than yourself. And that seems to be something that feeds the soul for human beings. It just seems to be this universal human experience that if you are giving yourself to a cause bigger than your own needs, that seems to cause an enormous amount of happiness and lower your stresses. Classic example was, if you've got a really small problem, like you've got a really small problem, so really irritating you that rah, 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 the best thing to do is to get a really big problem. Because then the small problem disappears. It literally disappears in front of your eyes. You take on a big problem called how do I cure cancer in New Zealand? Suddenly the small problems don't seem nearly as bad. So it's a really good one to remember that you can contribute. And if you don't feel like you are, then get involved somehow and contribute somewhere.